Oh, those are good. Good morning, beautiful people. It is a fine, kind of drizzly morning.
A little bit.
It's gonna be kind of warm today, but right now it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's still the cool of the morning.
Thankfully.
So, the time has come. The weather is nice. The garden is growing. This is gonna be our first garden tour of the season.
Yes.
We figured everything is starting to look really, really good.
And I'm kind of proud of it, so I wanted to show it off.
Yeah, there have been some comments of, I thought you guys weren't gonna really focus on a garden this year, and then the weather got nice and spring fever kicked in.
Right.
I was like, well, we have some stuff started, so why don't we, deal with that?
Right.
And here we are, like
knee deep in planting and doing all the things.
Yep.
Plus it was kind of like, well, if we don't plant anything, then we won't have veggies this summer. So
and we really like veggies.
yeah, here we are.
We're committed.
Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna start here in the greenhouse?
Yep.
Okay, so you guys saw us plant our tomatoes. They're doing great. I actually need to come in here and prune off the flowers that they are producing because I want plant growth right now rather than fruit growth. So I will be doing that. I'll just do one right now.
Yeah, since I saw that this morning. It was like, hey,
Yeah,
you're not supposed to be flowering yet.
Yeah.
They haven't even made it up to the trellises yet.
Yeah. Anyways, the tomatoes are doing great. I'm super happy with them. They all look really well after their transplanting. We have a few more spaces to fill out, so we'll do that with, the ones we got left up there. And then the rest of our tomatoes will be going out in the garden. Probably not today, but soon.
Probably not today.
They need to come out. Our potatoes are looking great and amazing. You guys saw us, we dug a few the other day, and they still are not producing yet, but we've still got like 2 months left, 1 to 2 months before their timeline is up.
Yeah.
So.
I was like, water's flowing. Jack was watering the pigs for me. He's gonna hook up the drip line.
Yes.
Water the tomatoes. Here we go. It's funny, it starts shaking when the water comes in. It's got to purge all the air out of the line. As you can hear. But this is a game changer.
Oh, this has been great.
This is so much better than this little, soaker hose that I've been watering with. Like, it's working, but this is far superior.
So good.
So basically, I'm just going to extend that line and probably cover it in wood chips, and then it will permanently water these beds.
So besides our potatoes, we've got some horseradish growing along the back there. That is chard that's gone to seed, and we're letting it go to seed because it self-seeds fantastically, and then we just get free chard. We've got a artichoke back there. Yep.
Right there.
Way back there.
There was actually about 6 of them, and that's the only one that survived for 3 years.
Oh, the plants? Yeah.
All right, that about does it for the greenhouse. Pretty much immediately outside of the greenhouse, there's this little flower bed that I stuck a red Japanese maple in here. I really like Japanese maples. It's something I've liked since I was younger.
Yeah.
I did landscaping out of high school and planted about 1 million of these and removed them from, high-end backyards and stuff like that. And I've always liked them. So I had a chance to buy one at a nursery, and I stuck it right here, and I've just kind of turned this into just a random overflow growing space.
Yeah.
Whenever fall rolls around, winter rolls around, I keep an eye out at, Lowe's, Home Depot, those types of places where they have nurseries, because they'll put their bulbs on clearance.
Yes.
Well, I picked up, I don't know, it was like 20 or 30 packs of daffodils and tulips and stuff like that for only like $1 a package, something like that.
It was really cheap.
It was really, really cheap. I came home with a giant cardboard box of all of the clearance bulbs, and I think I only spent like 30 or 40 bucks, and it was a ton. So I've got bulbs in here. I've got some walking onions, and then we've planted a whole bunch of strawberries in here to kind of, as the season goes on, everything changes. The spring weeds come up first, and then when it gets hot, those die back, and then the strawberries come on. They are producing. We've been eating strawberries every day. Well, I say we.
A certain little somebody has been eating strawberries every day. She's actually been sharing this year. So
well, there's enough to share.
Yeah, there are. I think so far we've probably gotten about 1 gallon.
Yeah.
Out of like all of our strawberry areas, probably about 1 gallon.
All right, I guess we'll walk this way. You want to do these 2 beds?
So as you can see, this is our beet bed that is doing fantastically. I need to get in here to do some thinning, but thinning hurts my soul so much.
This is true.
So I have a hard time, and I really wanted the greens as well as just the beets. I really enjoy beet greens. just sauteed with a little butter and garlic. It's so good. Maybe a little cream if I'm feeling really fancy. So these are doing great.
A little bit of buttered radishes.
Yeah, we'll talk about the radishes in a minute. So these are doing great. Super happy with these. I will thin these and I will use the greens. You know, I'll just take them inside and eat them. And then we have onions interplanted in here. As the beets come out, the onions will stay, and then we'll interplant something else in the rows. And then back here we've got carrots. We didn't do a row or anything. We just broadcast seeded these, so that's why they look a little sporadic.
We also had some old seed.
We did. So what I did is I just combined a whole bunch of packages, and Brett and I just kind of like sprinkled them out here. And it was like, whatever comes up, cool. And we've had some. Obviously the germination hasn't been amazing, but we'll get a good, you know, 2 bunches or so out of this bed. So they're doing their thing, they're doing great. I'm just happy that they came up because we have had not great success with carrots germinating. They're very difficult to germinate, and so we wound up tarping these to keep the moisture in. And I would say it helped quite a bit.
It did help. So you guys are gonna see I have random things planted throughout the garden that are more perennial. Just a word of warning, we grow hops because of the medicinal uses of hops, and that's what is covering this trellis.
Yeah.
I love the hops.
They smell good. We make tincture out of it.
Yep, we make a tincture out of it. Really cool plant. But
oh my gosh.
Apparently after they get up and going, they become invasive. So basically what happens is when I find a root, because they grow like a rhizome, and they'll send that rhizome out like, oh, I don't know, I've had rhizomes right here where I'm standing. Yeah. I'll just chop them, pull them up if they've got good roots on them, then I'll take them and wind them up in a pot, cover them with dirt, and then give them to my friends. Yeah. So the hard thing is this one keeps sending rhizomes through the carrot bed.
Yes. And
I'm having to get in there and gingerly work around carrots to get all of those rhizomes out of there before, because, you know, they poke up out of the dirt and now you've got all these vines grabbing hold of everything growing.
Yeah.
I have comfrey in most of these beds down here. That's what these big piles of green are with purple flowers. I don't mind that they get so big because when they get big, I chop them back real aggressively. They either become animal food, or I make compost tea out of them,
or we just top dress,
or I've used them as a living mulch type situation, or a chop and drop. I don't mind that the comfrey can be invasive.
Yeah.
It has never been a problem. Not like the hops. The hops are kind of a pain.
Yeah, they're kind of becoming a pain. In these beds, this one is kind of becoming, again, like a perennial thing. We've just stuck things in here that were cool with growing for a while. This is oregano. We've got some rosemary there. Lemon balm, which these are all like just taking over. We're gonna have to split these up soon. We had some kale that we let go to seed because the pollinators are digging it, and chives, and then the rest of this right now is radish and a little bit of lettuce that did come up. So again, Brett and I got in here and we just kind of like made a pattern and threw a bunch of mixed radish seeds in here, and we've been enjoying them. We really like them sauteed lightly in a little bit of butter and salt. So good, and it takes a little bit of that extra bite out of it. Buggy loves them. She will eat an entire pan of buttered radishes.
Yes, she will.
So yeah, but they're just about done. They're starting to bolt. We need to probably crop these out, and then I will be putting okra in this bed once everything kind of, you know, makes space. And then back here we've got, is this all leeks except for the walking onions?
Yeah, there's a couple walking onions, as you can see. They're doing pretty good.
Okay.
But the rest of that bed is all leeks.
Which we love leeks. I have come to find that I really prefer leeks to onions. A lot of times for a lot of dishes, I love like a leek and bacon quiche. So these will get, once they're big enough, we will harvest these and I will chop them and freeze them. And we will have leeks for, you know, the rest of the season. So we've got leeks here, and we've got leeks in a couple different places because I really, really love the leeks. So I was like, let's just plant as many leeks as we can. We've got a stash of strawberries back here. We've got more comfrey on this end, but also a very large happy mullein plant, which mullein we've been struggling to get to germinate here as well. But this one is loving life and doing its thing.
I think what the struggle is you only see mullein doing really good next to the freeway.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, mullein has not wanted to grow for us.
No.
But I found that one oddly enough, down by the road.
Yeah.
And transplanted it, and it's doing fine. So
I don't know if it likes hanging out with the comfrey or what, but it's doing its thing.
I think it thinks it's camouflaged.
Maybe that's it.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, it does look similar to the comfrey.
It does, yeah. So it's jamming. It's doing its thing.
Again, if you don't know what mullein is used for, great medicinal plant. I love mullein.
Yeah. On the trellises, we're trying to fill out our trellises. Some of them are going to be like annuals, you know, like cucumbers and things like that. And some of them are perennials. So this is a more permanent trellis here. On this one, we're doing a hardy kiwi. We haven't got any fruit off of it yet, but it's supposed to be kiwi that can deal with like colder temperatures.
Which it has. This is the third year this kiwi has been here.
It's doing great. So this kiwi, we got 2. The last time we went to Homesteaders of America, we were, you know, hiking our way out. It was the last day, the end of the day. And we ran by the Stark Bros booth, and, you know, they flagged us over and they're like, hey, come here. They had a bunch of plants that they wanted to get rid of because they didn't want to take them back to the nursery. You know, their weekend was done. They were being vendors. And they were like, hey, do you guys want to take these home? And we were like, I'm sure, why not? So we had 2 kiwis, hardy kiwis. One of them did not make it through. And with kiwis, for the hardy kiwi, you have a main variety and then you have a pollinator. Well, our pollinator is what died, unfortunately. So this last week, I actually ordered a pollinator and then another kiwi.
Another hardy kiwi.
Another hardy kiwi, the main one, the fruiting one. And so we've got these planted now. So we probably...
There's the male right there.
Yeah. So we probably won't get anything this year, obviously, because the male is very small and not doing his thing yet. But we can see we've got flowers on our female this year.
Yeah, this is a first.
Yeah, so that's really cool. It means its rootstock is like taken hold and it's doing its thing. So next year, hopefully, we will have hardy kiwis. They're not fuzzy, they're naked. They're just a smooth.
Which, if you ask me, that's better.
It would be, yeah, it would probably be easier to eat that way.
You just pop the whole thing in your mouth.
Yeah, so that's this trellis that we're working on here is the hardy kiwis, and we're really excited about that because we enjoy kiwis. All right, and then on this side, this has been the loofah's permanent home unintentionally for like 3 years now. It just keeps coming back and doing its thing, and we're like, hey, if you want to grow there and you're going to seed yourself and we don't have to take care of you, that's fine. That's kind of how we like to garden.
We love perennial annuals.
Yes, so again, we've got some loofahs in here. They have half seeded themselves. They've also had a little bit of help from the small one.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit of help. So that's going to be doing its thing on there. And then in this bed we have more radish and lettuce. This lettuce is looking amazing. I think I'm actually going to have a salad for lunch today.
The lettuce looks beautiful.
It looks beautiful.
I think our biggest struggle growing lettuce, we'll have just a couple plants, we'll eat a couple salads, and then it gets really hot and they bolt, and then we don't get another salad.
Yes. So I'm trying to be better about succession seeding this year, and then also putting them in places where they're going to be more shaded and cooler, so that we don't have that like bolting problem. Yeah. And then we're also trying to just add perennial flowers in various beds. So we've got a coneflower echinacea here. We've got a bachelor button. So we're just adding these for beauty and for pollinators. Over here we've got perpetual chard, which again, I just like broadcast seed and was like, grow what you're gonna grow, obviously.
Is this our seed?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the stuff we saved from the chard from the greenhouses last year. So it loves life and it will take over everything.
I will say, like, we've grown Swiss chard before. The perpetual chard grows so much more vigorously.
Yes.
Way harder. Like it does not mind the abuse.
No, it
You
doesn't.
can chop it all the way to the ground, eat everything, and a week later it's back like nothing happened.
And it's a little more mild in its dirt flavor.
Yeah, chard kind of has, it's kind of like beets.
Yeah.
Kind of a dirt flavor.
Which, I mean, the other name for Swiss chard is silver beet. So,
gotcha.
yeah, it's a little bit milder. I've found it to be very sweet right now during this season while it's not very hot, and it's been so good. And it's just nice to come out here and grab, you know, however much for a salad or whatever.
The green you can see is all loofah.
Yes.
So we don't have anything in these beds yet. Oh, and that's a amaranth coming up. But yeah, those will all come out. We don't want those there, but it's good to see something growing in these beds.
Yeah, so this will actually be peppers and basil, and I need to go to the nursery and get a bunch of marigolds and just intersperse them everywhere. And then this bed down here will probably be squash. I haven't quite decided yet, but we'll probably do a vining squash that can just like trail out and do its thing.
Block our road,
yeah,
basically. The walking onion bed is looking great.
It is. So these have been here 2 years?
Yeah, about 2 years.
So we just let them do their thing. Obviously, they bulb up at the top. These will fall over, seed again, and root, and make more. And we love these. These are great. They last down here in this bed. They last most of the year, so we can get green onions almost through the winter. When we get a hard freeze, they do die back. But then Ben's got some in the hugelkultur bed down in the dugout, which those lasted pretty much all season.
Yeah.
So we love these. These have been great.
Can you grab me a umbrella? It's starting to sprinkle a little more than we want.
We need, yeah. So this past weekend, we got out here and weeded and prepped all of the rest of these raised beds. It feels so good to have it all prepped and ready to go. So we try to leave a lot of the weeds in place until we are ready to grow. Because the early season stuff is like chickweed and henbit and dead nettle, which is a lot easier to pull out than when the grass and stuff gets in there. So we just kind of left it until we were ready. We were ready this time, and we got everything cleaned out, and Ben got some amendments and things like that in. And so most of these are actually planted out. You just can't see it yet. The seeds are there. Did you get your cloak? You're all set? Okay. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's
do a little umbrella aim.
I don't mind the rain, but the camera does, and we're not done with our tour yet, so I get to hold a umbrella.
So we'll just hang.
It's just like a light spring rain.
Yeah, it is. It's really nice. Okay, so this year on this trellis and a couple other trellises, I am trying Malabar spinach, which is more of a tropical. It's not quite spinach, but it's close to it. It's a tropical plant that can deal with the heat better. So we have not had good luck. I have not had good luck with spinach.
Ever. Even back in California, we had a hard time growing spinach.
Spinach doesn't like me, whatever. It either won't germinate or it goes straight to bolt, and
like it'll get 2 leaves and then bolt.
And I've kind of taken it personally. So I'm like, forget you. We'll try something else. So this is Malabar spinach. It is supposed to grow very vigorously. I have somebody here in town that I've actually seen her plants, and they were very, very vigorous.
Reminiscent of kudzu.
Yes, very much so. So I'm actually kind of excited for that. And it will reseed itself frequently and easily. So I'm kind of hoping that that's what happens. So we've got Malabar spinach on this trellis, and like I said, a few others. This bed is our onion bed, another onion bed. We like onions, and we're just shooting for planting as much as we can to get as much as we can and hope for the best. This bed back here is planted out bush acorn squash, or no, sorry, this is the zucchini bed. So we've got zucchini planted in here. Hopefully they will survive the squash bugs this year. We have some plans in place. I think what we're gonna do this year is net them. Like as soon as they come up, we're gonna net them to prevent the bugs from coming in. Let them get big and bushy and flower. Once they flower, we're gonna pull that net off real quick, let them get pollinated, and hope for the best. Hopefully they will outrun the bugs, but that's what we got planted in that one. You got some hazelnuts on that trellis. We have a random potato that came up by itself.
It was a potato we missed last year.
We're just gonna roll with it.
There were actually more potatoes that came up in these 2 far beds, and we weeded this weekend, and somebody might have dug up the potatoes and.
That's all right. She harvested. We ate them for breakfast.
We ate them. We did eat them for breakfast, and they were delicious.
This bed is peppers. This is all of our
bell peppers.
Bell peppers. Well, it's not all of our bell peppers, but it's a lot of them. Thank you to Michaela, our neighbor from Calico Cal Acres. She saved our butt on the peppers this year because ours did not do well.
No. I murdered them.
Well, you did murder them, and then half of them got eaten by slugs when I was trying to like replant and stuff. So, yeah, they were doing great, and then Ben left them out in the cold. Peppers don't like cold. So I hit up my neighbor, and she was like, hey, I've got extra plants if you ever need anything. And I was like, do you have bell peppers? And she's like, yeah, totally. So thank you, Michaela, for most of our bell peppers. I think 2 of these are actually ours.
No, like a third of the bed is ours.
Oh, okay, that's great. That's better than I thought. So, and then I've got some volunteer dill. It keeps reseeding itself every year, and I'm happy for it to do that. And then that's cucumbers over there. And I've seeded some extra cucumbers in here. And then this bed is planted out in green bean seed. So this is our contender bush beans that we really, really enjoy. We like them for fresh eating, and we have found that they hold up for canning really well. So whole bed of that, and then I'll probably be doing a second crop out there in our crop garden when our potatoes come out.
Once again, there's some more Malabar spinach.
And I think I put some on this side too. Over here we have our bush acorn plants. So those are the ones we started, and then I interplanted some seed in there as well. So we'll have a little bit more.
You planted more green beans.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so this is another bed of green beans. We really, really like green beans. I love green beans fresh, just sauteed in a pan with butter and garlic. It's a theme of mine.
Yeah,
butter
and garlic.
So that's another whole bed of bush green beans. So we're waiting on those to come, but with the rain, we've had rain for 3 days now, and I'm digging it. It's watering everything and hopefully waking everything up, so we'll have green beans and everything else soon.
Usually when we get rain like this, you know, a couple days in a row, anytime we've been able to get out and plant right before the rain,
yes,
usually by the time the sun comes out again in a few days and it gets warm, everything comes up.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Nothing waters like rainwater.
Yes.
All right, talk about your peas.
All right, I actually have some ready to pick. Yay! I've been watching these and they haven't been ready. So on this side, the very, very bushy ones are snow peas. So these are the ones that you keep flat in the pod. They don't really fill out very much.
Do you eat the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, those are good.
So these will go in a stir fry or just eaten plain like this. Maybe dipped in some ranch. That'd be really good. So then down here, for whatever reason this year, my English peas are not doing very well. I don't know if it's me. I've actually reseeded these once already, but that's fine. So these are like shelling peas. So once these are ready, like filled out, then we'll pick those. But they're taking their sweet time this year. Usually by this time I'm getting peas already, and I planted them the same time this year as I did last year. But weather or whatever has not done as well. So I'm still waiting, but they're coming. You can see a little bit. I'm not gonna get a huge harvest for preserving this year, but I can at least eat them, which is how I like them anyways, is just straight out of the garden from the pod.
All right, so this is, we just refer to this as our berry bed. We have just kind of let it go crazy and do what it wants. We've got blueberries that are just doing incredible over here. This bed has pretty much exclusively been covered with, I guess, high acid kind of compost. Like last year, I took every single leaf that fell from all of these trees. I ran them through my shredder. I shredded every single leaf that I picked up last year, mulched this bed about 6 inches deep with just shredded leaves, and by the next year, the leaves are completely broken down and gone, and the blueberries, the strawberries, and like the raspberries and blackberries are just loving it. Blueberries, like I said, those are doing great. We have some strawberries that we planted in here, and honestly, just this patch right here, we might be getting close to a gallon from just this small little area right
it's
here.
been very prolific.
Very prolific.
And then we've got, like you said, we've got raspberries over there.
So,
and some blackberries.
All of these right here in the front portion, these are all ever-bearing raspberries. These will produce raspberries all the way up until the first freeze.
Yeah, into October actually.
We've never gotten a really big harvest, but there's always enough. Once they start coming on ripe, you can come out here and have a handful of raspberries every day until, you know, October.
Yeah, it's been really nice.
It has been really nice. It's been a treat.
Yeah.
And then back here we've got a whole bunch of thornless blackberries. I may move these, I'm not sure. We've got 2 different varieties. Don't ask me the type. I don't want to crawl down here and
try to find
the label. But there's a blackberry in here that gets these blackberries that are about this big. And then there's one that, you can see how it grows its flowers. Each cane will probably have like 20 pounds of blackberries
yeah,
on it.
they get loaded.
It's these big canes that you can see. I really need to move them. I don't know if I want them here. I want them in a place where I can trellis them and get them up a lot bigger.
But for now,
this is where they're living. This one produces a ton of blackberries. They're just not very sweet.
They aren't. So
it's more of like a jam.
Yeah, we'll be using those more for jam and syrup. All right, and then in this bed we have our garlic, which you can see is doing amazing. Like, it's super tall, and this will actually be cropped out probably next month. About June is when we harvest ours. We plant in October, it overwinters, does its thing. It's doing its thing really well this year, and we'll be pulling this out in June. So I'm very excited for that, to get our new garlic harvest.
Something I find interesting, this row right here is elephant garlic. And then the rest is garlic that we bought in. And then this row right here is garlic we saved. We grew and we saved. It's that row right there. Our garlic is actually doing pretty well. Now, I'm noticing some yellowing, so it's probably getting close to being done. But I'm very happy that our garlic did as good as the stuff that we bought in.
Yeah, we've got the elephant garlic there. And then ours, like Ben said, we don't know the variety. We just kind of... It's probably a mix of the Italian and the Inchilium. I'm probably saying that wrong.
Inchilium?
Inchilium, because that's what we grew last year and that's what we saved. So we just took the biggest and best cloves of last year and just planted those out. And then we've got some hardneck garlic from Edible Acres, and then we've got music garlic from Johnny's this year. So very curious. I've heard really good things about the music garlic, so I'm very curious and excited to try that this year and see how that is. And then in these last two rows, you can kind of see them. This was kind of like overflow onions and leeks, stuff we couldn't fit in our beds over there. So they're coming along. They we haven't had them in this bed very long, so that's why they're so small.
They've been in here like 2 weeks.
Maybe 3, yeah. So, but they are coming. They're doing their thing, and they'll be here a little bit longer than the garlic. And then when the garlic is cropped out, I forget what we were gonna do, squash or something like that. So
I thought you said squash.
Yeah.
Or maybe the squash was going in after potatoes.
I don't know. It's on my list. I got a map.
Yeah, we have
don't carry the map in my brain.
We have a garden map that Meg drew up that is, you just print it out blank and fill it in, keep it on a clipboard, stick it to the fridge.
Yeah.
And then it makes it real nice because anytime it's like, hey, where did we stick such and such?
Right.
We can go to the map and figure it out.
Or for when we're planning, like, oh, what are we putting in here next? And then I always write the date of when we planted, and then usually I will write the date of when we harvest as well. So we kind of have those records every year. It's not the most detailed, I could probably do better, but it's nice to have the records and we can kind of get an idea. Like this year, I know that my peas are a little bit later than they were last year, but that's okay. So this is our potato patch this year. We purposely took a risk and planted these earlier than usual because we wanted to see if we could kind of push it a little bit, and we were having a really warm spring. The only bummer is because we did plant them earlier, we got a couple of freezes that died them back a little bit. So the green would come up to be like, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches, and then we would get a frost and they would die back. And I believe that happened twice. So they're a little scrawnier than what we have in the greenhouse, even though these were planted before what we have in the greenhouse. And so we've just been kind of watching and seeing, and they're coming back, they're doing great now, but it'll probably be a little bit longer to get this harvest than we had originally expected. But again, it was an experiment that we were willing to try. Usually we plant out around St. Patrick's Day, and I think we did like 2 weeks earlier than that. So it is what it is, but we like to push the envelope and see what we can get away with. And some years it's good, some years it's bad. It's fine. We will still get a harvest out of this, but they're looking pretty good. We came out here and we weeded the whole thing the other day and kind of remulched a little bit in places that were naked, and they're doing great. So here's the corn patch that Ben and the boys got in a couple weeks ago. It's doing really good. So we've got a couple different varieties. We've got some sweet corn, we've got some gem corn, we've got some popcorn down at the end, and it's all, I mean, aside from a few spots that you can see that are kind of sparse.
So basically we had a whole bunch of like packets of corn. Last year we bought a big old bag of corn, like sweet corn.
Yeah, it was like a half pound.
We didn't use that whole half pound. Used what we used, and then we were kicking around this thing. Well, basically we had a whole bunch of small packs of seeds and
the rest of this
half pound of sweet corn. And it was just like, why do we have so many packets of corn? Like, no single packet or single variety was enough to grow what we want for the year. Why don't we just throw it all in, give it a fighting chance? Yeah. If it wants to grow, cool. If not, whatever. Yeah. At least we used it instead of it slowly dying on a shelf somewhere.
Yeah, the theme for this year has been use up a lot of packets.
Yeah.
So whether that's mixing stuff together, you know, like with the carrots and stuff like that, or in this case, just having row after row after row. We're not gonna worry about saving corn this year. Our intention is to eat it. So it didn't matter if it gets mixed or, you know.
Yeah, who cares if it crossbreeds? We're not saving seed this year.
Yeah.
We did forget the asparagus bed.
Oh, we did. You wanna go pop that real quick?
We can walk over there.
All right.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's an asparagus bed. So we started with just these 3 plants that are right here. They are about 4 years old now. We have eaten a lot of asparagus this year. If you notice, you'll see flowers all over these nice, beautiful, ferny asparagus plants. 2 years ago, I saved all of the berries. Every time one would drop to the ground, I would pick it up and pop the seeds out of it, dry them, save them. Well then, last spring, I took all of the seeds that I'd saved and started them in a seed tray. Got about 60 individual plants.
Yeah.
I planted them out. They did their thing all year last year, and this spring they came up. You can see some of these are doing pretty good. Like, look at the size. Well, that's not one of mine. These are actually some purple variety I got at the Farm We Live festival. But you can see how, for really their second year, they're doing really, really good. Yeah. Now, the wind and the rain has knocked them over, but they don't seem to mind. Look at this one. This one already has berries on it. I will definitely be saving berries again, and I'll probably do it again. I'll start a whole bunch of asparagus, and then I'll just start planting it everywhere.
Yeah.
What a problem to have.
I know, right?
Oh man, I don't want to eat asparagus again. We had that yesterday.
I'm not over the asparagus right now.
No, definitely not over the asparagus.
I've been enjoying the asparagus. And I'm very excited for the rest of these to get big enough and old enough to get a lot.
We will be overrun with asparagus.
Oh my gosh, these bugs.
What a problem. Yeah, the gnats are pretty bad right now. All right, one last thing before we go.
Yes, so even though this isn't in our garden beds, we still consider this part of our garden. And you guys saw us do these up last week. We got our Greenstocks filled, and they are really popping actually. So I've got some cilantro and parsley in these ones. Each level has a different one. And then we've got a couple different things like sage. We got the bachelor buttons in here. This one I'm super excited. It's doing really, really well. And the rain has been watering it for us. We haven't had to worry about it. And it is just popping. So I'm super excited to be pulling cilantro and parsley out of those.
Hey, look at that. There is color.
Right? Buggy keeps eyeballing them and asking me. I'm like, no, you're waiting until they're red.
I actually told her the other day, and I think she did it. I was like, that's Mama's Greenstock. Mama gets to eat the first strawberry. Aww. And she just kind of stopped and was like, okay.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So
she's been eating all the other strawberries.
She is literally, I swear there are some days around here, all that girl eats is nothing just but strawberries. Yes. It's like, come on, sister.
Turn into a strawberry.
Yeah, you're going to turn into a strawberry. Eat some real food.
This one is doing great. It is jamming. Obviously, we have a ton of fruit coming from this one. They're just taking their sweet time to get ripe. But having moved it, you guys saw we moved it from over there on the north side of our house to here where it gets more sun and heat. And they are really starting to ripen up and get ready now. So I'm eyeballing those. And then last but not least, this one, you guys saw us fill this one out as well. This one's mostly herbs. So we've got some basil, sage. The calendula is doing great. I actually was laughing at this the other day because it had been, gently turn it, facing this way. And then I was actually sitting from my chair, I can see this one. And it was like looking in the house.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. It looked like it was so looking in the window.
It was just like staring straight at me. I was like, why are you staring at me? This is weird.
It's because it knows you planted it.
Yes. So I thought that tickled me. That was really funny. We've got some sage, some chamomile. There's some thyme on this side, some dill, which is looking amazing. I actually might put that in my salad today. Cilantro. And then I did seed some lettuce that has not come up yet, but I bet you it's on as well. Hold on. There might be. Looks like we might be getting some. That's not lettuce. But
that looks like peppers.
It's probably peppers or tomatoes because we did have those in here last year.
Oh, we did have tomatoes in here.
That's funny. Which if they do, I'll just let them do their thing. So waiting on the lettuce, but everything else is looking great. They are doing awesome, and I'm super happy to have them up here, where I can just like either stare out the window at them. I also stare at the strawberries and just enjoy having them here. So I want to let you guys know that Greenstock is still having their Mother's Day sale until the 13th of May. So you can get the basket weave version of this for $109, and you can get the regular plain version of this for $99, and you can stack our code on top of it. So I will put both the link and our code, which is Hollar10, in the description for you guys. So if you still want to snag one during the Mother's Day sale, they're also having 10% off of everything else in the store, which would include the spinner base, which we love the spinner base.
Makes it very convenient.
If you were gonna buy other things to go through Greenstock, I would buy the spinner base for sure. But just want to let you guys know that there's still a week going on for that. So if you want to grab one, this is the best sale that they have during the year, and this is the perfect time to do it. So again, hi Sketch.
Why are you out during daylight hours?
Because he wants to pets. And he's like, you're up here for me, right?
This is our other cat, and he's extremely damaged.
He's
he's got some mental problems,
He does.
but he does love us.
He does.
And we love him, so.
Yes. So you don't see him very often, but yes, we have 2 cats. People will be like, wait, I saw 2 cats that look the same. It's Sketch, and he does not come out very often. He's usually not out during the day, actually, but he's here.
This
He's
is
hanging out.
Millie is his mom.
Yes. So yeah, we will. I'll pop the link and the code for that below for you guys.
All right, now that the garden tour is over, I feel like we've covered just about everything.
Yeah.
There's still more. I might do a video talking about the trees and how the orchard is doing. Yeah. But if we did this video, this would be an hour-long video, and it's already getting kind of long.
Right.
So I think that's going to do it for us for today.
Yeah.
We will catch you guys on the next one.
Bye.
He's like, I'm too nervous, man.